Hello everybody, and we are back with our series Best Cards in Reign of Bahamut, and we are now on to Runecraft today. I am very excited because there's a lot of really strong Runecraft cards today for dirt players out there, and also for spell boost or spell chain, whatever you want to call it. Very cool cards. I'm really excited to show you guys. So I'm going to go right in. We have just pretty much this class left, and then we are going to cover Dragon and then neutral cards. So we got 2 more videos left after this one in this series. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the first card. Starting things off today is going to be a new amulet for you dirty dirt players out there. Red Hot Ritual is a 2-cost amulet that creates a stack and has the fanfare ability. Choose an enemy follower and deal 3 damage to it. It's a simple yet very strong addition to dirt decks, as not only does this card contribute to you having a stack count to trigger your Earthright effects, but it also slows your opponent down in the early game. You can drop this card on turn 2 to pop an enemy follower, and then follow up the play with something like a Runic Guardian, so you have a 4/5 ward on turn 3, which is nice. Or you could follow it up with an Ancient Alchemist, on turn 3, so you put 2 guard form golems in your EX, and then on turn 4 you can evolve Ancient Alchemist to bring out one of those golems and, you know, deal 3 damage and just start winning from there, essentially. But it's very strong card, a strong addition. But also, outside of these 2 cards, you're going to have a new follow-up because this new card actually is very good for Earthright as well. Remy and Ramy Witchy Duo is a 3-cost follower with 3 attack and 3 defense. This card is particularly good going second because it can evolve with only 1 play point. And when it evolves, Remy and Ramy get a stat buff to 4/4 and put a strike form golem directly onto the field, which is the golem that has a 3/2 rush. In case you didn't, remember which one I was talking about. And if you have a stack going, you can activate Earthright and give the golem an extra 2 attack. That is very strong for an Evo play for Runecraft players out there. Especially in the early game. Going second, you can potentially put up a 4/4 and a 5/4 with 5/2 with rush. And that's a lot of pressure for your opponent to deal with on just their turn 4. So Remy and Ramy, very good card going into the next set. So keep a lookout for this one. I think it's just going to be a silver, so really easy to pull. But very strong card and probably a mainstay for dirt decks out there moving forward. The next card on my list is Shadow Witch. Shadow Witch is a 5-cost follower with 5 attack, 5 defense, and a fanfare effect that requires Earthright, but it reads choose an enemy follower and banish it. Very simple, just a few words right there. But I don't see this card being more than a 1 or 2 of tech and maybe dirt decks, but it's still a strong single spot removal that banishes, which is underrated. You could hit Bell Ringers with this, maybe Ayala in the Dragoncraft matchup. Or maybe you're lucky and you hit a Leonidas. This is going to be an extremely popular card in the next format, so banish it so your opponent doesn't get to throw down their Leonidas' resolve. If nothing else, it's an option for you to consider going to the next format as a single spot removal, so I wanted to make sure this made it onto my list. Very good card. This next card on my list is very exciting, as it's one of the first quick effect followers that we get in Shadowverse Evolved. Sun Oracle Pascal. Pascal is a 4-cost follower with 3 attack, 5 defense, and a fanfare effect that puts a magic sediment token on the field. On top of this, Pascal has 2 quick effects, meaning you can use either of these effects on your opponent's turn when they attack or when they end their turn, just like normal quick spells. These effects are really similar in that you must engage the card, so turn it on its side, and trigger Earthright to give either an enemy follower -2 attack and defense, or buff one of your followers and an extra 2 attack or defense. So, because this card has to be reserved or in a standing position, you obviously can't abuse these effects. You can only do 1 per turn, but they're still really strong. You could potentially wipe out an enemy follower by disrupting their stats to bring it down to 0 health, or making it lose a battle against another follower of yours, so that your follower has bigger attack or then their defense all of a sudden. You could also leave Pascal reserved and just buff it at the end phase if you wanted to, or buff another follower of yours at the end phase, putting pressure on your opponent to out that threat. I'm really excited for this new element to dirt decks because it makes the game a lot more interactive, but not in an unhealthy way. If you've ever played another card game like Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is where I come from, you may know about how exhausting it is when you feel like you just simply cannot play on your own terms turns. Sorry, one-sided games are just, you know, they're not very fun. But the way that Shadowverse Evolve has specific windows where quick effects can be used, to me, creates a more healthy way of playing on your opponent's turn. Because in Pascal's case, there's cards right now that are out right now, like Hair of Illusions, for example, Shadowed Assassin. Those are just a couple cards that immediately check cards like Pascal. It reserves it or engages it forcibly, so that way they cannot use their quick effects because they can't pay the cost of activating the effect. So anyway, I'm just sorry about that little passionate explanation of this card, but I'm really excited for it. Quick effects on you know, the opponent's turn is going to be really cool, and I hope you guys are excited about it as I am. So this next card for everybody, or for Runecraft players out there, is going to be pretty nice. Rhymewind. This is a new spell card. It's a 2-cost quick effect spell that allows you to choose an unevolved follower and return it to the hand. If you have achieved spell chain count of 10, you can put the follower back to the top of the deck instead. So Runecraft has some brand new removal with this card to help out cards with last words without triggering them, like, you know, like I said, Bellringer before, Ayala. But it also helps because you have some now decent cost-effective removal against big cards. Like imagine if this card was out in the first format and you were scared about Genesis Dragon, but you had to save 4 play points. Now you don't have to, because you would be able to just only save 2. And if you bounce a Gen Dragon, you basically still skip their turn. It doesn't matter that they can do it again next turn. You probably just need that 1 turn to win anyway. So anyway, is it a great card? Yes, I think so. It doesn't get rid of the threat permanently unless you have a spell chain of 10, but because it's so cost effective, I see this card becoming a 3 of in spell chain decks. So look out for this. It's a gold, and I imagine we're going to see this a lot moving in the future. Okay, and finally, the card that I'm sure you've all been waiting for on this list is Daria, Dimensional Witch. Daria is an all-time favorite Runecraft card, and she finally makes her grand appearance in Set 2. Daria is a 6-cost follower with 5 attack, 5 defense, and the continuous effect that says, as long as this card is in the field, when counting for spell chain, count the total number of spells and followers in your cemetery. Already that's a game changer for spell chain decks, but moving on. Daria also has a huge fanfare effect that reads, discard all cards in your hand, put the top card of your deck into your EX area, and repeat this process until your EX area is full. So what you're doing here essentially is discarding your hand to fill your spell chain count. Then you are more or less getting a new hand into your EX area. Daria can also evolve for 1 play point. And when it does, it goes up to 6/6 and allows you to choose both a follower and a spell currently in your EX area and reduce them both by 5 points, but only if you use them that turn. So I'm just going to point out what you're probably all thinking right now. And can you imagine playing Dimension Shift for 2, right? Or Runeblade Summoner for free for storm damage, or Mithril Golem for 1 to do a board wipe. All of this being extremely cost effective. Daria is crazy, to put it simply, and also she's actually going to get an ultimate rare or leader card actually in BP03, so look out for that, but not in this set. I'm going to mention BP03, the next set. Daria will get a leader card, and rightfully so, because she is so strong. But it's bonkers. It's going to lead to some really silly plays and end boards, I'm telling you, but I'm all here for the chaos, man. It's going to be great. Okay, well, that's all I have for you guys for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, we got Dragoncraft coming up next, so I hope you guys are looking forward to that. And after that, I'll do a video on all the best neutral cards in the next set. So please like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends, because that's the only way I can help grow this channel. And with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next one.